I'm worried. I don't want to lose my dad. I'll admit it.
That's exactly what I needed to hear. I just didn't have the tools. I didn't have the words. But that was unbelievably insightful.
Hi, I'm David Wood, and welcome to this demonstration of our Tough Conversations roleplay technology. The Tough Conversations program starts with a training. It could be a half-day training in person or a Zoom training for, say, 90 minutes. Then employees get access to a booking link where they can book a coaching session as soon as same day in some cases. This gives them a chance to role play that tough conversation before they go out in the real world and have it. In this demo, we'll take you through two real-life tough conversations. One, a corporate example where an HR director has to tell a CEO that he's abrasive. And then a personal example where a co-founder or manager has a personal life issue that could be impacting his work. Let's jump in. This one was awesome. An HR director was asking, how do I tell the CEO that he's coming across as abrasive to 40% of our staff? What a tricky one. What I loved about this was how impacted the HR director seemed by the role play. But I don't want to steal the thunder. Let's jump in to the role play.
He feels he's direct, but he's hurtful. He damages others. And I don't know that there's a way to say that. I haven't found one yet anyway.
I have confidence that by the end of this conversation, you will have found a way.
Oh, good.
What I find really powerful in these situations is to do a role play. Here are the 4 steps that I will attempt to model in doing a tough conversation. Clarify, ask, share, inquire. Case, C-A-S-E. Those are the 4 steps. We've just done the clarify portion already. I went through and kind of prepped and found out what is the hope, what is the fear, whatever. We clarified the issue. Then I will ask, and I have a pretty cool formula for how to ask for the conversation. I'll share it. I'll slip in a request there, and then I'll inquire to see how it lands, and we'll work it out together. Hey, Fred, do you have a minute?
Sure. Will this take long?
My question won't take long. If you have more time, we can talk now, and if not, we can schedule another time.
Okay.
Well, what I'm thinking is there's something that I haven't been saying. And I think the reason I haven't been saying it is because I see you as a sensitive, caring person, and I'm worried that you might feel upset or offended. And I don't want that to happen. And I've decided I do want to bring it up with you because I want the best for you and the company. And my hope is that you might see an opportunity in this and our staff might be happier. So probably take about 10 to 15 minutes. Would now be a good time, or should we schedule another time?
No, I have 10 minutes.
Okay, great. Thank you. Something's been coming up in your communication that isn't working. And I want to bring it up because I thought you might want to know and see if there's a way that you could alter it so that you do come across in a way that's well received and powerful and influential and impactful. That'd be my hope out of this conversation. And it might be hard to hear. I get that. I just want to check, are you open to hearing it?
Okay.
Okay.
What is it?
You know how you can be direct with people?
It's important.
I think it's one of your strengths. I think we need people who are willing to say, boom, 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 right? Between the eyes. The thing is, sometimes and often actually, when you're direct, some people take offense.
I'm only doing my job. Somebody has to get the word out, and I feel like we waste a lot of time.
So what I noticed just happened, Fred, is I'm wanting to share an issue that's going on, and you've jumped straight to defense. And I think there'll be a time for that, but could you give me a minute to get out the whole issue, and then we can look at what we can do about it?
Okay.
It's hard for me to bring this up for you. So if you could give me a little bit of space, that'd make it easier.
All right.
All right, thanks. So I understand from your point of view, you're doing the right thing. I'm saying from other people's point of view, including myself, I've experienced it, I've witnessed it, and about 40% of the staff have brought it up in one way or another. And if you like, I can give you an example.
Right, because I can't think of anything that in particular.
Yeah, and that's my point. From your point of view, everything looks fine.
Mm-hmm.
From the company's point of view, big problem. And so I want to address the gap with you.
Okay.
So an example is when in the meeting, when you said, can we keep this short? I have another meeting. I kind of felt like I didn't matter. I kind of felt like the meeting didn't matter to you. And I'm not saying that you meant that, but that's how I felt when you said that. And another way, if you're interested, that I was thinking you could have said it where I might have felt more important is, I'm so under the gun today. I have another meeting. Would it be okay with everyone if we kept this meeting to 20 minutes? And if that's not possible, is it okay with everyone if I bow out at 20 minutes and you guys remain and finish what's there? Would that work for everybody?
It seems like overkill and a waste of time.
Yeah. So that's our problem. That seems like overkill and a waste of time. And my concern is we're going to lose people. So I have an idea and I can throw it out on the table, but I want to ask you, is this something that you're willing to investigate and change and develop a new habit?
I have to think
or not?
I have to think about it. I have to think about the time that, you know how busy I am. And I don't have a lot of time to invest in things like this. But
Right.
I'm up for whatever you have to suggest.
Okay. So I hear that you're busy, and that sounds right. And it'd be hard to find time. If we do a cost benefit analysis, is it going to take you more time to deal with things like this HR complaint that we just had? Because I think there'll be more complaints going forward if you're direct with people and not checking for impact, like not checking for how it lands. You're very transactional, Fred. You're not relational sometimes. And so I think it might take you more time to deal with hiring new people when we lose some key staff, and complaints and the lower productivity because people are they're annoyed. And plus, it's taken up a lot of my time because I'm trying to smooth things over. So I'm curious, do you think it might save time to do this, or do you think it would be a time waster? Because I don't want to force this down your throat. I'm just bringing you an issue and I'm looking for a solution.
Well, how long would something like this would take?
I can go and look for a training program that's highly recommended. My guess is it's going to be a minimum of 2 days. You might be able to do it on the weekend.
My wife has said in the past that I'm unaware of certain things, that I need to consider things more. So this might help.
I just got excited. Like, imagine if there is a massive blind spot and you get to actually see that. Imagine how you're going to show up as a leader. Imagine if you are still direct with people, but also sensitive to impact and checking. How does that land for you? I want to check. Does that work? If you got something else, say it now. I really want to hear it. Like, if that happens and you actually change a habit, you're already a good CEO. You're going to be a superhuman.
I like it.
All right, great. So I'll go and find a program. And my request is that within the next 2 months, you do that program. Because if we just talk about it, you know what's going to change. Nothing.
Well, I want to be a good leader. It's important to me.
Yeah, I feel absolutely on the same page about that.
Wow. That's very impactful, David. Very impactful. You were very validating. You were extremely validating about, yes, direct is okay. I want you to be direct as long as you realize the impact that it has on others. Becoming a better leader would give him an edge in the business. And so when you could relate it to that, I think that's a huge perspective. That's exactly what I needed to hear. It's where I needed to head. I just didn't have the tools. I didn't have the words. But that
Nope.
was unbelievably insightful.
My father had a significant stroke about a year and a half ago. I've been trying to help him get back on his feet. He was on a very successful road to recovery before I stopped working with him. And then he ended up basically gaining back all of the weight and returning to his previous patterns. So I feel very frustrated because the work that I put in to try to get him to where I think he needs to go just didn't happen. And he's also throwing away his life.
Right. It sounds to me like you might be concerned that he will get worse and perhaps ultimately
Oh, that
die.
he's going to die. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get through to him and have a conversation that communicates the gravity of it. I absolutely love my father and I want to be able to keep working with him, but I'm realizing that that's not realistic. Yeah.
Yeah, that gives me a lot of great information. So let's do a role play now. So are you willing to be your dad and I'll be you?
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wing it based on the information you've given me. And I invite you to just kind of channel your dad. Say whatever you think your dad would say in response. And this is a chance, anything you're worried your dad might say, you can say that to me and see how I might handle it. Right? So
Okay.
don't go easy on me. Hey, Dad, can I talk to you? I need about 10 minutes to talk to you about something that's really been bothering me. And the reason I want to talk about it is because I care about you so much. And I'm hoping that I can have more peace. And I'm also hoping I might be able to have an impact on you in a positive way that's going to have you live longer. So, can we talk for 10 minutes about that?
Sure. No problem, son. Absolutely, we can talk.
Okay, thank you. All right. So, I'll tell you, I'll be straight with you. My fear is that, like, I want to enroll you in something, I want to influence you. It's so important to me. And my fear is you may not be enrolled. You may not take on or agree with me. And my fear is you may get worse and decline and die earlier than you need to. And I'm really worried about that, to be honest.
Well, in my opinion, I think it's gonna happen when it's gonna happen. I'm gonna go when it's gonna go. And that's really, I don't think I can really control all the things that you're saying that I can control.
Well, that makes sense. But, that seems like a valid point of view. And can I make my pitch? I'd like to make my pitch and
Sure.
share what's come up for me. Okay, thank you. I feel like when I worked with you, you were doing so much better. It seemed so good and it was working. And I'm like, I get to keep my dad for longer. And then I stopped working with you personally. I feel like I can't devote that amount of time, and you seem to slide. And I feel two things. One, I feel frustrated that that happened. Okay, three things. Two, I feel guilty because I'm not working with you personally. And it's like, if you die, I might feel like it's my fault. And three, I'm worried. I don't want to lose my dad. I'll admit it. I'm not ready for you to go. So those are the things that I'm feeling. And my request is that you take on the program the way you were when I was working with you. Would you be willing to take that on so that I can keep my dad for a bit longer?
Well, absolutely, son. I think that that's a great idea. And I think that it's definitely something that I need to do. I think that's probably what he would say.
Okay.
However, there wouldn't necessarily be a next step.
So let's stop the role play there just for time reasons. But the next step might be, great, can we talk about practicals? Can we talk about actual commitments? And we might do that on another call. Maybe you come up with a plan, I come up with a plan, and then we'll work out what you're committed to. I might even find a coach for you if you want. But I want to say two things. If I was going to continue the role play, I'd be like, thank you, Dad, so much for hearing me. That's a gift to me. Even if you disagreed with me, I appreciate you hearing me. And then the other thing I would say is, how is it for you to hear this? How is it for you to hear that your son really wants this? And I'd really want to listen to his world. Everything about, hey, if it happens, it happens. You know, I'd want to hear that and shut up and just get his world. And then at the end, again, we might move on to concrete steps.